coming out of the Christian church as a homosexual man, it just seems daunting.
And more so in the Pentecostal tradition, which they teach, and their dogma is on fear. It's pure fear all the time. So
you were so scared of yourself.
So they panic constantly because I'm burning and they preach hell in the most actively, creatively visual way possible.
Which is so abusive.
Completely abusive. It's like, so I know how that lake of sulfur, eternal lake of sulfur and suffering. And
it would suck.
It would be horrible, and I would be there suffering forever.
Yeah, never ending.
So I just never came out because it wasn't safe. And it wasn't... It just didn't compute. I just needed to get out of the house. I just needed to run away. And when I ran away, I went to my father and I said, I'm going to take a different approach. I'm going to tell him out of the bat. I don't know what is his religious status. I don't know anything of him because I don't know him. But he's the only
18
safety net, that I can have. And I said, I had with him a stepbrother that I met when I went to live with him, and another kind of stepbrother-ish, but it was just a son of his wife that he basically came with the package when he married her. So I remember that I was completely open with him. I was like, hey, Dad, I really need to get out of the house. This type of abuse is happening. All of this is happening. This is very bad, blah, blah, blah. Can I go and live with you? Well, you need to talk to your mom. And I was like, no, I need to get out. I'm laying down the plan to you because this is this bad. He was like, okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I need you to know that I'm gay and I'm seeing a person right now. Is that okay with you? Oh, yeah, there's no problem. It's going to be fine. Just don't... My half-brother name is Ivan as well because my father's name is Ivan. So he was
3 Ivans.
Yes. He's so narcissistic.
Oh, God.
And he was like, just don't tell Ivancito, because he's a kid and you just don't tell him. And I was like, having safety, I can compromise. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. So I go and live with my father. He knows. I remember taking a photo, giving my husband a kiss, my then boyfriend a kiss, and putting it in the background of my cell phone. And he saw it and scolded me for that. Oh, what if your brother sees that? You can't, like, okay, red flag. And then during that time, he was still paying, it's called food, the support. It's not alimony. It's the
child support.
Child support. He was paying.
I
child
pay
support.
it.
Well, he was paying.
I know it.
Yes. So my mother was very. She trained us to lie in court so they could raise the child support for him. So he could pay more. So he was still paying child support. So he told me, "Why don't you go to court? I'm 18. Why don't you go to court and ask for them to give me permission to keep that so I can give that directly to you instead of sending it over there because we're wasting it there because you're no longer there." And I was like, that makes sense. That really makes sense. I go to court. When I go to court, you are not legally allowed to ask for this. First, because in order to be able to apply for this type of stuff, you need to be 21. You're 18. And you are not paying child support. Your dad needs to come here and ask for that change because he's the one paying child support. I looked for a pro bono lawyer and a whole bunch of stuff. And I know this because my mother brainwashed us to think that my father was evil. So I'm operating into trying to change the mentality that he's evil. But the evilness of him is still looming in my head. And I kind of felt the the red flags since the beginning, but I was like, no, I'm going to keep trying. I found a job, everything. I found everything. And during summer, when I finally found out that it just wasn't possible, and I tell him, hey, if you want the child support, you need to go to court and ask yourself. And he was like, okay. A couple of days, weeks pass, whatever. He comes to me out of the blue. I've talked to your mother and I'm sending you back.
Why?
Because he couldn't get the money.
Wow. They've just used you your whole life.
He couldn't get the money, and he was like, you need to go back there. I can't have you here. And I was, that happened, mind you, that happened in a conversation after I went to work. And when I returned from work, all my things are by the gutter under rainfall. I remember rain falling, thunder, typical Caribbean rainfall. And I'm by the house calling the other kid that it's my age. I was like, hey, Josian, please open the door. Please. There's stuff in there that's mine. What's happening? And he opens the door. He's also terrified of my father. And he said, Dad told me I can't let you in. And he's like broken down because he had some sort of connection with me. And he's my age and everything. And he sees what's happening. I can't let you in. Then I come back. All this situation happened. He sends me back. And I went back to him and said, I really need to talk to you. Why? You never said anything. You never told me what I always asked you permission for everything, for every single thing. I told you, I gave you the parameters, who I was, what I was looking for, what could I do. I checked with you all the time. Is this allowed? Is this not allowed? The first time I drank and got drunk, I talked to him, hey, I'm going out with my husband and we're going to go drink. Is that okay? Yes, it's okay. I'm going to leave you a key here, or take this key, or take my car. So the behavior was very
erratic.
No, his behavior was encouraging.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
He was like, okay, you can do this or do that. Or I always was seeking permission. And then out of the blue, this happens. I talked to him, why? And he said, well, sometimes the way people live doesn't align with the way other people live. And, if you behave in ways that the pack is not behaving like, then maybe you can't be in that pack.
You've been voted off the island.
Yes. Bring up your torch.
Yeah, exactly.
You're out. But it was mainly because of the money, and because...
It's all about money.
Money, and because he didn't want my half-brother to grow up with a gay brother. So all of that was intertwined. So I really didn't came out to my dad. I kind of did that process of coming out with friends in school, and they were all very accepting. But then when he brought me back to my mom, which is very violent, I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. And she said, well, your father said that you were interested in men. They couldn't even build to say the word interested in men. Are you? And I was like, yes, but like confrontational, because I already escaped the house once. So I am going to be now like enslaved in the house and completely secluded, or, grounded forever or whatever. So what the fuck? I might as well just say the way it should be or whatever. So I just said it. Absolute and utter disappointment and, disdain and with it, you felt it in the air, but she said she accepted me. Oh, you could have told me or this and that. I would never be against you or whatever. And I'm like, you're saying that because of what happened prior. I left the house. And you're saying you would accept me because you don't want to be in competition with your ex-husband. And he was the one who took me during that period of time. But in my household, I heard constant conversations of people criticizing gay people, saying that they deserve to die. People joking, saying that it would be ideal to take all the Puerto Rican gay people and put them in an island and nuke them. And they were so filthy. They were all pederasts and child molesters and the bottom of the barrel completely. So how do you expect me to be like, oh yes, I'm so sorry I interrupt your discussion. By the way, I'm a fag. It's like, how?
Yeah.
So complete and utter bullshit. But I stayed like for 2 days or so, and I left again, but that time with my husband, and then we've been together ever since.